Welcome to Psycho Billy's. This is my 1987
So this particular truck right here was a truck that my cousin JP Dow picked up from a man, and I was searching for a C10 at the time. I was kind of reaching out to different people that I knew, just asking, you know, if anybody had a truck. I was looking for one of the last year models that they made in the Squarebody, which is the 87 that they call the R10 instead of the C10s. And just so happens my cousin happened to have one. He told me to come over and check it out. Once I did, I kind of fell in love with the truck and thought it was one I wanted to build. So the condition that the truck was in, so it was pretty much a farm truck. The guy JP had got it from, had kept it on a farm. He had used it out there to like put hay in the bed of the truck and feed his animals, like his cows and stuff like that. His grandson had drove it through a barbed wire fence, and it gouged the fenders, the doors, and parts of the hood and down the side of the truck. So I had a lot of work that I had to do on just getting, you know, it straight and the gouges out from the barbed wiring on the fence. So it was in pretty rough shape. This one specifically was the year model I was looking for. It was just something that I knew the guy that owned it. I knew it would be a decent pickup to build. It wasn't me just going and buying something from somebody that I didn't know anything about on the history of the background. And it was just really, it was a simple purchase from my cousin. So like I said, I liked the truck, and it was also a good price. I drove this truck in high school, not this exact truck, but I drove a Squarebody for my 11th and 12th grade year. And I always loved these trucks, and I always thought they was really the best looking Chevrolet pickup that was produced. So once I got a little bit older, I kind of wanted to fall back to the pickup I had in the school. And, you know, it was right before they really started getting popular again. I winded up giving $6,500 for this truck, and it had air conditioning, and it had a running 305 with a good 350 turbo transmission. So it was already a solid little pickup, but like again, I got them before they got hot. Okay, so paint and body on this truck. So when I first purchased the truck was just solid blue, and it had a dark blue interior, and it was the dark blue stock Chevy. The truck had never been painted since '87. Everything was original to the truck. This gray color had just started coming out on like the Dodges, and it really wasn't something that everybody had at first. So, and I really liked the color of gray. I liked the look of this gray. So I wanted to put it on one of these trucks because nobody had it on them. And this is probably about 7 years ago, 6 years ago. And once I put the gray on there, it looked really good, but I wanted to go back to the original styling of these trucks, which in '87, they had this two-tone that was above the body line. And I always liked the looks of this trim, you know, being stock. And it made me kind of go back to the whole scenario of giving it a stock look from '87, but just things that pop a little bit more, like the coy wheels, the 15-inch coy wheels, the rally wheels. They came on these trucks stock, but Coy makes them in a 20 with a billet lip. So I wanted to kind of add to it and just do something that looked like it was stock Chevrolet, but just blown up a little bit. So the engine and drivetrain on this truck, one of my buddies owns Phil's Paint and Body, and they do also like towing. He had a pickup that an old man had. It was a 2000, and he was in a drunk driving accident one night, and he rolled the pickup. It had a 5.3 with a 4L80, and Phil called me and told me he had it, and sold the motor and trans to me for $500. The whole truck, sold the whole truck to me for $500. So I pulled it out here and just picked the motor out of it, picked the tranny out of it, and it was one of the second swaps that I'd ever done. and I just kind of threw it in at the time. But after that, I pulled that original motor out. I rebuilt me a new 5.3 with the 4L70 transmission, and put it in here. So this particular motor and transmission that's in the truck right now, it don't even have 2,000 miles on it. It's brand new motor, brand new tranny. Coy had just came out with these this year, and a buddy of mine had purchased them for his pickup, and he still had them brand new in the box, and he decided to go a different route. He also has an 87. He didn't even put them on the truck. He purchased them, got them to the house, and it was one of those deals where he just changed his mind and he just thought it isn't what he wanted. So I seen it, he posted them on Facebook Market, and I called him, and like I say, he still had them brand new in the box, so no tires. I went over and looked at them. They were all still in the plastic, and I just bought them from him for cash, and then put me a set of Hankook tires on them. And Hankooks are really good tire. They're really durable tire. The setup that I got on these, I got 295 45 20 in the rear with a 10-inch Coy rim, and then in the front I'm running a 275 45 20 with an 8.5. And as far as the stance on the truck, it's got a 4.6 drop. I went 4 inches in the front, 6 inches in the rear. And the flip kit and the suspension kit is all Beltec, including my shocks, front, rear, shock extenders, the flip kit, the spindles in the front. It's all Beltec. So with the interior in the truck, I always wanted, I'm just a fan of red. I'm just a big fan of red. I always have been. And I just wanted to do an all red interior on the truck. Even before I picked my paint schemes, I picked this red color. So I kind of went with interior, and then I done with the paint scheme around it. So as far as the interior, I wanted to put bucket seats in it. So I went with the bucket seats from Summit Racing. That's called Pro Seat. And they're a nice little low back seat. Adjust, leans back. They come with full mounts on them, so everything's new, the sliders and everything. And they came in red, so it was kind of a simple choice on that. And then as far as like my interior stuff, I built my console. I wrapped it with leather from Tandy. I got me a new dash. I wrapped it with leather from Tandy. I've done new inserts on the panels and on the kick plates. I wanted cup holders. I wanted my radio in the center where the passenger could control it too, and it wasn't right up underneath my knee. And these trucks don't come with cup holders, you know, and that sucks, man. I don't know what GM was thinking, but to put a set of cup holders in these trucks and have a place to be able to put your cups down is something else. It's a whole new ball game. The stereo system in here, I went with a Kenwood deck, and I done JL audio speakers. I done a kicker competition 10-inch sub in the middle in that box, and kicker amp on the highs and the lows, and it's got a really good solid sound to it. That one woofer in there, it's about all you want inside one of these little Chevy pickups. It'll blow your eardrums out. So everything else in there, like my carpet, all that good stuff, I replaced it all. So it's pretty much a brand new interior. Yeah, so lots of frustrations, lots of different things with this truck. So once I got this truck totally built, you know, everybody said, you know, well, you need to put a new rear end in there because this truck, it's the old rear end in there, that LS motor is going to eat it up. So I went and pulled the rear end out, and I started getting gears and going through all the stuff that I do to set the truck up. And I put 390 gears in it with a Yukon positive track. Now this is the frustration point on that. The guy that done my rear end, he tells me, pull the rear end out, bring it to me. I'll do everything for you, hand it back to you. You throw it in and drive away. So I done all that, brought it to him. He calls me, tells me it's done. I go pick it up, I put it in my pickup, and I pull out of this driveway, and I get on Highway 9, and my rear end locks up doing 70 miles an hour. He didn't put any oil in my rear end. So that was a major frustration. Even though he done all the work again for me for free, it was still a lot, pulling it all out, putting it all back in. And there was a lot more things than that, but that's probably the biggest one that sticks out to me in my head. So to have this truck finished and to see it done now, it's one of those things where every day that I leave to go to work, I look at it, because I drive a company truck to work, so I don't get to drive it daily. But anytime I'm off, I drive this pickup. When I come home, I look at this truck. This truck is something like it's one of those deals where it's just a proud thing when you get done with them, and you can look over at it and it's accomplished, and you can say, hey, I done that. And you know, I really like the way the truck looks itself. I think to myself, it's what I was shooting for when I wanted to build my first C10. You know, and it's a good classic look. It's not something that's radical or far out there. It's kind of a simpler look, but you know, it's me, and I like the truck. So right as of now, there really ain't too much I would change on it. I'm going to just leave it alone and drive it.